G'day from Melbourne, Australia. I'm really sorry that I can't make it and even can't make it live. It's around the middle of the night, 1 a.m., midnight, 1 a.m. at the time that this session is running. And so I'm really sorry that I can't be there, but I hope I can give you a brief introduction to the session. First is about the award. So this award is created to honour the outstanding contributions of Deborah F. Swain, Debbie to most of us, to the field of statistical graphics. It encourages contributions in and use of statistical graphics, celebrating Debbie's enduring legacy and impact. The prize is the equivalent to the registration fee for attending the Joint Statistics meeting. And the selection happens at the mixer each year from statistical graphics members who attend the mixer. By the time of this session, this should have been decided this year. So just a little overview in Debbie's contributions. One interesting thing is that she also is very special about words, and so we often had conversations about interesting words. So this is labeled Deborah's oeuvre. I'm probably not pronouncing that right, but the contributions that she has made are fairly extensive, and this is just a short summary of them. The main contributions were in the software Xgobi and Ggobi that evolved from Xgobi, and those were highly dynamic and interactive graphics systems that allowed you to look at multivariate data, particularly continuous or quantitative data. There are a couple of special application areas that Debbie was involved in, one of them in developing tools for working with missing data and exploring missing data patterns, and the other one in working with panel data, customer panel data. There's one other paper that I'd like to raise, and that's this one called Bay Area Blues. And this is a paper that explains the most beautiful data analysis. And I use it as an example of a very well done data analysis from my advanced data analysis class. I have to let you see some of the video footage that Deborah was involved in generating in the early years. And this is a small clip from the first video on Xgobi use. And one of the most interesting things is also Debbie talking about the work in those in this video. So just a couple of minutes of video footage. Hopefully this works okay.
Or survey responses. They describe such diverse phenomena as network traffic, software performance, customer choices, or the effectiveness of medical treatments. Dynamic interactive graphical methods are very helpful in the analysis of such complex data. Using these methods, the user can quickly become familiar with a new set of data, discover relationships among two or more variables, and locate and identify unusual points. Often, features will quickly become apparent when it would have taken a very long time to discover them using analytical and static graphic methods. Some would escape detection altogether. Xgobi brings contemporary dynamic graphics for data analysis to the workstation environment using the X window system. This is an X or survey responses.
I encourage you to look at the long list of videos in the ASA Statistical Graphics video library. There's some really interesting insights in some of that early work. Now, those of you working with Debbie will have memories of very special traits or styles of Deborah's work. And one of these, I'll give you two of these from my perspective. The first is, in those early years, Debbie was very passionate about a book called Design of Everyday Things by Norman. And on a regular basis, we would hear something like, if you can't see it in the interface, it's not the user interface. A user needs to be able to use your software without you training them. The interface should be essentially obvious to how things are used. And so the design of Xgobi and then Ggobi later had this at the background of the software that the user interacted with. The second one, some of you might remember the huge sheet of paper that Debbie used to carry around, which is all the hand-drawn piping and design of the Xgobi system and then Ggobi. This was packed away in everywhere she went and brought out from time to time. I want to give you a couple of pictures of some of the years that we all were working together. And I'm calling this the Ggobi years because it's the time we started to have hackathons and on a regular basis to develop the code. And the funds for the award actually come from some of the contributions that were, well, whatever the residual contributions that were made to the Ggobi Foundation. So this is one that actually just precedes the Ggobi years. And I'm not quite sure which year this was, but it was one of the first visualization workshops that we had. And it was organized by Andreas Buja here in the front at Drew University in New Jersey. And if you can pick out, there's Debbie just behind Andreas. And this is what meetings used to look like, or conferences used to look like, when people didn't have portable devices readily available. You'd have to sit and listen to people talk or make notes on paper. This is a photo from our first hackathon in Brainerd, Minnesota. You might recognize some of these pieces, some of these people, I should say. There's Debbie. This is Hadley. This is Michael, who'll talk later, Andreas, Heike Hoffman, and myself. And if you think Duncan Temple Lang looks a little weird, it's because we had to Photoshop him in. This one is from the second hackathon, and it's really nice to see Debbie explaining something to Andreas. This was in Ames, Iowa. I discovered in looking at my photos a file that's called Girls with Toys. It's a bit of a grainy picture, but I think it's a fun title for a file, Girls with Toys. There's Debbie in the lovely Waldo striped shirt. And another glimpse of the working style in those years. This is Debbie with the lovely, I love that picture, with Michael and Hadley. And so just to finish off, we've got 4 speakers in today's session. Michael Lawrence is part of the original Ggobi team and is a past lead of an analytics group at Genentech, member of our core and our foundation, and an our foundation member. I wanted to try to put pictures where we have Debbie in the background or somewhere in the picture as well. I don't have a very good one of Simon. Simon, if you're talking to Anthony Unwin, but another very strong graphics group in the world was developed by Anthony Unwin, and Simon came through that group in Germany. And Debbie and Simon overlapped at AT&T, and he's a member of our core and an our foundation member. Barrett Schlerke, and this is the best picture I have of Barrett in those years. He was part of the Ggobi team. This is Barrett as an undergraduate. And he's also famous for the GGALI package that many people use today. And lastly, Heike Hoffman, is a major member of the Ggobi team, developer of interactive graphic software in the Augsburg group, one package called Manet, focusing on missing values, and today many are packages. And now Heike tends to hide in the pictures, and there's Heike. Here's Debbie, and Heike is also in this picture as well, hiding sort of in the front, but all right, so that's all I want to say. I hope this is a great session, and go statistical graphics.